For so long, I thought that I was fucking crazy. Hi guys, it's Patchouli. Thank you for stopping by my channel and welcome back. If you're not new here, if you are new here, welcome. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about a topic that is really close to home because this affects me every single month, and it is PMDD. What is PMDD? It is Premenstrual Dysphoric Disorder, right? PMDD. Now, what that is, it's pretty much like think of PMS, but on steroids. It is a very intense PMS. It starts 2 weeks before your period during ovulation, and the symptoms are not only physical, but they are also mental. PMDD is considered a mood disorder because it affects your mood tremendously. Now, how is PMDD diagnosed? Well, it's usually diagnosed by your gynecologist by tracking your symptoms for a few months. With that information, you tell your doctor, and then your doctor will let you know if you have it or not. And what the symptoms are both physical. It is immense pain that comes with your period. You'll experience the pain before your period. So for instance, breast tenderness, you'll have breast tenderness, headaches, bloating, fatigue. You can get some ovulation pain as well, immense ovulation pain. As far as the mental symptoms, you can go through depression, anxiety, mood swings, irritability. You can cry at the drop of a dime. The thing about PMDD is that it is debilitating. It affects your personal relationships with other people. It can affect your work. It can affect your family. It affects your life. I was diagnosed with this a few years back. When she told me, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So I got on birth control when I was 15 years old, and the reason why I got on birth control was because my period pain was so bad that I couldn't go to school the first day. I would be on the bathroom floor the entire day. Once I took 12 ibuprofens to help with the pain, and it just, the only way that I didn't have that experience was if I got on birth control. So that's what I did, and I was on it for about 15 years, and within those 15 years I did try to come off of it a few times. However, every single time I tried to come off of it, I had immense pain whenever I got my period. I wasn't very mindful of the mental symptoms that came with me having my period during that time. However, when I moved to Florida, I tried to get off birth control, but I felt like I was going crazy. My mind, I was just really sad, very depressed. I didn't know what to do to get myself out of this. I would feel better some weeks, and then boom, I would feel bad the next. So I ended up getting back on, and because of that, that's how I was diagnosed with PMDD, because I went to my gynecologist back in New York and I told her what was going on. I need to get back on birth control because I just have too much pain and I feel like I'm crazy. And I told her my symptoms, and she confirmed that I had PMDD. I got back on birth control. I didn't have any symptoms. However, when I moved to California in 2020, I got off birth control. I started eating very well. I started working out. I was very active. I started meditating. I was just taking really good care of myself. So I didn't experience issues with my period. The only thing, I was irregular for the first 3 months. So I was still experiencing a lot of pain the first day of my period, and I was experiencing breast tenderness. But I never thought about PMDD again. Fast forward the next year, I decided to get on birth control again because I met somebody. And as soon as I got on birth control, my body just rejected it. I had headaches every single day. It just wasn't good. My body didn't like it, so I got off of it. That is when all of the issues started coming back. I started having mental health issues, physical issues, and I didn't really understand anything until this year. So last year I started doing non-hormonal birth control, and it's called Natural Cycles. It's an app that you download and you purchase their basal thermometer, and every single morning you take your temperature and you log it in, and you log in whatever symptoms you're having that day, and it does the rest. It tells me when I'm fertile, when I'm not fertile, when I am about to ovulate, and when I'm going to get my period as well. So I started this year realizing I am having more issues right before my period. It wasn't until my last period I had finally had it. That's when I started getting breast tenderness. 2 weeks before, I started getting very depressed, very sad, very irritable. I had a lot of mood swings, and then that's when I finally started putting two and two together. I finally thought of, oh, PMDD. Let me research this and see what it's all about and see if there's any correlation, because I was trying to figure out what was going on. My fatigue, I was so tired, I didn't have energy to do anything. It was just putting me in a very depressive state. So I researched PMDD and I'm like, oh shit, like I remember I was diagnosed with this a few years ago, but I never thought anything of it. And when I was diagnosed, the doctor told me that there's a strong possibility that I could get postpartum depression, because PMDD is also linked to postpartum depression. I'm 2 weeks before getting my menstrual period, and I can have so many things to do in my planner, and like I can't do anything. I have depression, I have anxiety, I have irritability, I have mood swings, I have anger, I have sadness. Having PMDD, it really affects my life. I don't know what to do except become more self-aware of my symptoms. Get back on birth control. It is a hormonal imbalance that affects your mood. Some women, they're able to do hormone therapy. They'll usually go and do a hormone test, and that test will let the doctor know what your body has too much of or too little of, and whatever that hormone is, it could be progesterone, testosterone, or estrogen. They will prescribe you whichever hormone your body is lacking of, so that they can try and regulate your hormones. A normal woman, right, when she's about to go through ovulation, your estrogen spikes, and then when you get your period, your estrogen goes back down to normal and your progesterone pretty much kicks in. That's when you start feeling yourself again, right? Your progesterone and your estrogen are pretty normal, right? When you have PMDD, it goes like this all the time. Estrogen is the hormone that makes you a little crazy. The other thing you can do is take serotonin inhibitors. Serotonin is the feel-good chemical in your brain. You can get more serotonin by exercising, by just doing things that you love that make you happy. For women who are struggling with PMDD, their serotonin is usually imbalanced. If you want to fix this, nip this in the butt, you're gonna have to take some prescriptions. I don't want to be on birth control anymore, and I don't want to take a serotonin inhibitor. I don't want to mess with my brain. I don't want to rely on that. So what's left for me to do? Just become more aware of this. 2 weeks before you get your period, just make sure you track all of your symptoms. Just write down exactly how you're feeling mentally and physically. 2 weeks before your period hits, you tell yourself, okay, I might be a little crazy. I might be experiencing some things, feeling certain things that might not be how I truly feel, but I have to just deal with this and just go with the flow and remind myself that this is not me, this is the PMDD. So self-awareness really helps in this situation, and that is what I'm doing. Also, communicating with your loved ones, whoever you have in your life that you share a lot of time with, talk to them about what you're going through. Explain to them what you're going through, because you really need support when you're dealing with these things. Because sometimes I'm like, what is wrong with me? Like I literally feel insane. I feel inadequate, or sometimes I'll go through feeling like shit about myself. I will be so hard on myself because I'm not achieving all the things I want to achieve, but it's because every single time I am on track to achieve all of my goals, I get hit with PMDD, and it's every single month. So it constantly sets me back. So then I get to a point where I feel like the victim. I start victimizing myself. I start feeling like, why me, why me? And that's not a good vibration to be at. That's gonna affect your moods as well. Everything is energy. Communicating with my boyfriend has been helping. So whenever, like right now, I am at the beginning of my 2 weeks before my period, I let him know, hey, like it's coming, because I already feel it. Like I have already cried so many times today, but yesterday I was okay. The day before I was fine. But talking about it is really helpful, and it's nice to know that a lot of women go through this. A lot of doctors don't diagnose this, and for a long time, for many years, I didn't know what PMDD was. The most crazy thing about this, you won't know about PMDD unless you do your research. It's very rare that you'll tell a doctor all of your symptoms and they're like, oh, okay, it sounds like PMDD. Usually they like to go straight to, well, it looks like you're experiencing a depressive episode, or you have generalized anxiety, or all these things, which is what I was diagnosed with. But I'm not always depressed. I forgot to add this information when I was filming the PMDD video, but a way to be able to differentiate if you're going through a depressive episode or if you're just going through a PMDD episode is, in order for it to be considered a depressive episode, you have to be depressed for a minimum of 2 weeks. PMDD, your symptoms start 2 weeks before your period, but as soon as your period comes, as soon as you see the onset of your period, your symptoms magically just disappear. So that is how you can differentiate, okay, are you going through a depressive episode or is it a PMDD episode? The spiritual journey I've been on, I have been more connected with my spirit, and I have learned new practices that help me with my anxiety. I just hope bringing more light and attention to this topic will help this situation. I hope more people will start learning about this and start talking about this, and we'll start having a conversation, and we'll bring more light to this so Western medicine can take this very seriously and try to find a better alternative. I have not checked out the holistic community or the naturopathic community to see if there's anything that can help me with this. However, I have been meditating, journaling, being more self-aware, practicing mindfulness, talking to my partner about this, hoping that these things work for me. We are so much stronger than we give ourselves credit. Our bodies can heal themselves. Please, if you have this, or if you know someone who has this, or if you just want to have a conversation about this, please leave a comment down below. I would love to talk about this. This is Ruby Patchouli. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you haven't yet, please subscribe down below, like the video, and I will be here every single week with a new video.